The next thing to talk about is logical data type. Logical data type represent Boolean values, whether they are true or false, or binary values, whether 0 and 1s. Okay, so they are widely used in conditional statements and filtering data. True can be represented by capital T, and false can be represented by capital F. And these are specific names that are assigned in R, so you cannot even name your items like true and false. No. So the moment you type true, R will recognize that you are working with true and false in a vector. R will recognize that you are working with what? A logical data type. And we have complex numbers. Complex data type is used for numbers that have both real and imaginary components. Real or imaginary components. While complex numbers are less commonly used in standard data analysis, they can be applied in specialized areas, right? That is signal processing, electrical engineering, wavelet analysis, among others. And we have factors. The factor class is an important data type to represent categorical data. So factor objects can also be created from character object or from a numeric object. Let's say I have a column that has just, let's say 1 to 5 as options. I can create them as a factor. Let's say I've collected my data that is on a Likert scale. I can create them as a factor depending on what I want to achieve at the end of the day. Then we have date and time. Also, R provides a robust support for handling date and time data, which is crucial for time series analysis. This type of data is essential in tracking economic data over time, such as monitoring inflation rate, exchange rate, agricultural outputs across different months or years. R is capable of dealing calendar days and time. Alright, so normally we use the asDate function. We use the asDate function to create an object of class of data. So quickly, let's go to the example and work with Boolean or with logical data type. What we are saying is that the moment you use true or false as to form a vector, like we are seeing in line 49. In line 49, we are telling R that this is a logic, right? So when you look at the environment area, you can see that it is what? A logical data type. You can see that it's a logical data type. And the moment you also use, you see the hashtags are used for comments. So if I want to uncomment, I can delete it, or I can even just highlight the path I want to run. Then R will automatically give me the results I want. So when I use F and T's, capital F and T's in my vector, it automatically sees them as what? Also as logical values, data type. Similarly, when I use 1 and 0, and I tell R that R should use the as logical function, R will automatically convert them into what? Into logical data type for me, because it has just two options, 1 and 0. So 0 will be given false, then 1 will be given true. Okay, so that is with the logical data types. Let's move on to the complex data type. The complex numbers, we made mention that it has what? Imaginary side and real side. It has imaginary side and real side. And as you know, if you are familiar with numbers, you know that this will be the real side, then this side will be the imaginary side. Okay, but better still, R can isolate the real and imaginary sides for you the moment you save it as an object. So we are saving C, which contains a vector of complex numbers, right? So C is a complex number, as you can see here. So if you want to check only the real side, you can use RE into brackets, the RE function into brackets C. It will isolate only the real numbers for us. And if you want to check for the imaginary numbers, you can use IM into brackets C. IH into brackets C. Then it will also isolate what? The imaginary side for you. Alright. Now let's move on to talk about factors, right? Factors Factors, just like I mentioned earlier, can be created from whether they are characters or from numeric objects. So this time around, we are creating a factor from a character object. We are creating a factor from a character object. Okay, we are creating a factor from a character object. So what do I have? I have names of regions in Ghana: Ashanti, Greater Accra, Northern, Volta. Then I combine them with the C combine option. Then I tell R that R should save it as a factor. So this will be saved as a factor in R. So when I check the class of the region, you can see that it's what? A factor. You can see that it is a factor. And also we can use the as factor option. Okay, so let's see, we had languages, right? Yes, we have languages. So let's say we want to lang factor, then we assign it to it. So as the name, yeah, as languages. See, the lang is now a factor, right? It is now a factor. So when we check the class, of lang, we are saying that it is now a factor. So that is that. The last data type to talk about is dates, which are crucial in working with time series analysis. Okay, so dates, as we saw earlier, when you write numbers in quotation mark, R sees them as characters. So when I run the line 82, R will see the class date as character, right? But I can use the as date function to be able to change it from character to what? Dates. And by doing so, I have to specify the structure of the character, as in how it represents the date. So with what I have here, I'm saying that the AskDate function to convert the object dates into dates. And how should it convert it? You should first see that there's percentage D, that is, this is what? Day. Then you should ignore the dash sign, then go to the next one and see that 01 is months. Then again it will see a dash sign. Then finally it will have what? Percentage capital Y as year. So when I run this line now, that will be noted as date. So basically we've been able to go through all the data types, all the 7 data types, and we've practiced them. I hope it helps you.